Hello students, I am Sir Glenn, your subject teacher. Welcome to General Mathematics, Grade 11. For example 2, we represent the following logarithmic functions in terms of their equation table of values and graph. So let's start in the first item. We have f of x is equal to log base 2 of x minus 1. So, how are we going to represent this in terms of its equation? Ang equation nito, papalitan lang ho natin yung f of x using y. Y is equal to log base 2 of x minus 1. So, para sa kanyang table of values, i-rewrite natin ito in terms of its equivalent exponential form. This is equivalent to x minus 1 is equal to 2 raised to y. So, transposing negative 1, it will become x is equal to 2 raised to y plus 1. So, ito yung magiging basis natin ngayon sa pagkuha ng ating x na value. So, this will be our table of values. This will be x, and then for our y, which is log base 2 of x minus 1. So, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, and then 0, 1, 2, and 3. So, if x is negative 3, kapag negative 3 y, if negative 3 si y, then we have 2 raised to negative 3 plus 1. This is 2 raised to negative 3 is equivalent to 1 all over 2 raised to 3, then plus 1. This will be 1 all over 8 plus 1. So, we have, ang LCD is 8. If we cross multiply, 1 times 1 is 1, and then 8 times 1 is 8. So, this is equivalent to 9 all over 8. Our x here, if y is negative 3, is 9 all over 8. So, if y is negative 2, then we have 2 raised to negative 2 plus 1. 2 raised to negative 2 is equivalent to 1 all over 2 squared, and then we bring down positive 1. 1 all over 2 squared is 1/4 plus 1. LCD is 4, understood na ang denominator ni 1 ay 1. Cross multiply. So, 1 times 1 is 1. Then, 4 times 1 is 4. So, 1 plus 4 is 5 all over 4. So, we write here 5 all over 4. If x is negative 1, then this will be x is equal to 2 raised to negative 1 plus 1. This will be 1/2 plus 1. So, the LCD is 2 all over 1, cross multiply. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So, 1 plus 2 is 3 all over 2. So, if y is negative 1, then x will be 3 all over 2. If x is 0, if y is 0, then x will be 2 raised to 0 plus 1. 2 raised to 0 is 1. 1 plus 1 is equivalent to 2. If x is positive 1, then this will be 2 raised to 1 plus 1. So, 2 raised to 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So, our answer here is 3. And if y is 2, then 2 squared plus 1. 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. And if y is 3, then 2 cubed is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So, this is our table of values for item A. So, ang next na gagawin natin ngayon ay i-represent siya in terms of its graph. So, paano siya gagawin? Siyempre, kailangan nating gumawa ng ating Cartesian plane. So, again, sorry sa aking pag-draw ng mga lines kung hindi man perfect. I am using my graphics tablet and it's really difficult to create a straight line at smooth curves. Okay? So, sa ating x, we have 9 all over 8 up to positive 9. So, be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So, if x is 9 all over 8, that is 1 and 1 all over 8, y will be negative 3. So, sabihin natin ang 1 and 1 all over 8 ay nandito at negative 3 siya. So, andito yung kanyang point. If x is 5 all over 4, that is 1 and 1, 4. Y is negative 2. So, 1 and 1, 4. Sabihin natin nandito siya. If x is 3 all over 2, 1 and 1 half, y will be negative 1. So, let's just assume nandito siya. If x is 2, y will be 0. So, dito yung point na yun. If x is 3, y is 1. Kapag 3 daw, si y ay 1. Ito yung point na yun. If x is 5, y will be 2. So, dito yung 5. Ang 2 na katapat niya ay nandyan. And if x is 9, y will be positive 3. So after plotting the points from our table of values, we can now connect the dots using a smooth curve. So again, sorry sa aking pag-sketch. It's difficult for me to connect the dots using in terms of a smooth curve. So that is the appearance of our graph for the first item. F of x is equal to log base 2 of x minus 1. So kung titingnan natin yan sa ating graphing calculator, y is equal to log base 2 of x minus 1. Yan ho ang magiging appearance ng ating graph. Okay? So, for the second item, we have f of x is equal to negative 1 times log base 3 of x plus 1. So, this will be our second item. Negative 1 times log base 3 of x plus 1. So, ang equation nito ay papalitan lang natin sa f of x using y. Y is equal to negative log base 3 of x plus 1. So, ang table of values nito ma-generate. So, we use table of values for y is equal to log base 3 of x plus 1. So, from here, kailangan nating i-rewrite ito in terms of its equivalent exponential form. This will be x plus 1 is equal to 3y, or x is equal to 3 raised to y minus 1. So, ang table of values natin ngayon ay i-base natin dito sa exponential form na ito. So, this will be x, and then y for log base 3 of x plus 1. And then, from here, ma-generate natin yung y value for our given logarithmic equation. So, log base 3 of x plus 1. So, okay lang kahit we start kay negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So, how can we derive our table of values? Using the table of values, the y values, I mean, for log base 3 of x plus 1. So, if x is negative 2, then we have, if y is negative 2, then x is equal to 3 raised to negative 2 minus 1. That is 1 all over 3 squared minus 1, or I'll just do it vertically. So, si 3 raised to negative 2, equivalent niya ni 1 all over 3 squared, and then we bring down negative 1. 3 squared is 9. So, understood ho na all over 1 ito, and then we cross multiply. 1 times 1 is 1, and then 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. This is negative 8 all over 9. So, negative 8 all over 9 ang ating x. So, if our y is negative 1, then we have 3 raised to negative 1 minus 1. 3 raised to negative 1 is equivalent to 1 all over 3 raised to 1, then minus 1. All over 1 cross multiply. So, ang LCD ay 3. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. This is equivalent to negative 2 thirds. We have negative 2 thirds here. If x is 0, I mean if y is 0, then x will be 3 raised to 0 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is equivalent to 0. If y is 1, then 3 raised to 1 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. And if y is 2, then 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. So, yan yung table of values ni y is equal to log base 3 of x plus 1. So, gagamitin natin ito para ma-generate yung table of values ng ating y, ng ating given, which is y is equal to negative log base 3 of x plus 1, since this is a transformation of this logarithmic function. So, imamultiply lang natin yung second row kay negative 1. So, negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. Negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. 0 times negative 1 is 0. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So, therefore, our table of values, ang table of values natin para sa equation na to ay, this will be x and then y. We have 2, 1, 0, negative 1, and negative 2. So, ang values ni x ay negative 8 all over 9, negative 2 thirds, we have 0, 2, and 8. Ito yung table of values para sa ating item B. And next one, i-represent naman natin yan through its graph. Paano natin siya i-represent? Siyempre, just like what we did in the previous examples, nagawa tayo ng Cartesian plane natin. Negative 2 to positive 2, and then hanggang 8 yung kay x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, if x is negative 8 all over 9, y will be positive, positive 2. Is it positive 2? Yes, it's positive 2. So, si negative 8 all over 9, nandito siya. Or, let me just check. So, meron palang negative. So, andito yung negative 8.9. Y will be positive 2. So, andun yung point niya sa taas. If x is negative 2 thirds, say for example, nandyan siya, y will be positive 1. Negative 2 thirds si x, si y ay positive 1. So, say for example, it's here. If x is 0, y will be 0. If x is 2, y will be negative 1. So, 2 yun, tas negative 1 yung kay y. And then, if x is 8, y will be negative 2. 8 and negative 2. So, andun yung 8. And then, ito yung negative. So after that, kapag na-plot na natin yung mga points, i-connect na natin yung mga dots using a smooth curve. So again, sorry sa aking pag-connect ng dots kasi hindi siya smooth curve. Ayan. So kung titignan natin yung appearance ng ating graph, so sa ating graphing calculator, here it is. So this will be ano yung given? We have y is equal to -1 times log base 3 of x plus 1. Ito ho yung appearance ng ating graph. Ayan. And for our third item, we have this one. So for its equation, papalitan lang natin si f of x using y. Y is equal to 2 times log base 2 of 1 minus x plus 2. So para sa kanyang table of values, gagamitin natin yung equation na y is equal to log base 2 of 1 minus x. Kasi yung given natin, itong given na to ay isang transformation ng logarithmic function na ito. Okay? So, rewriting this in terms of its equivalent exponential form, this will be 1 minus x is equal to 2 raised to y. So, transposing positive 1, it will become 2 raised to y minus 1. So, multiply natin lahat using negative 1. This will be x is equal to 1 minus 2 raised to y. So, ang ating table of values ngayon, we have x. And then, yung una na transformation, log base 2 of 1 minus x. And then, nagkaroon siya ng 2. Yung multiply natin yung second row using 2. And then, magdadagdag tayo ng dalawa doon sa pangatlong row natin. We have 2 times log base 2 of 1 minus x plus 2. So I'll just use the values negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So if x is negative 2, then, if y is negative 2, then x will be 1 minus 2 raised to negative 2. That is 1 minus, si 2 raised to negative 2, pwede siyang i-write as 1 all over 2 squared para maging positive yung kanyang exponent. And then simplifying this, it will give us 1 all over 1/4 all over 1. Ang LCD ay 4, and then we cross multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So 4 minus 1 is equivalent to 3 all over 4. If x is negative 1, then 1 minus 2 raised to negative 1. So 1 minus, si 2 raised to negative 1, pwede siyang i-write as 1 all over 2 raised to 1. So all over 1, ang LCD ay 2, and then cross multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. 2 minus 1 is 1 all over 2. If x is equivalent to, if y is equivalent to 0, then 1 minus 2 raised to 0, then 2 raised to 0 is 1. 1 minus 1 is equivalent to 0. If y is 1, then 1 minus 2 raised to 1. 2 raised to 1 is 2. Then our x will be negative 1. And then if x is 2, then 1 minus 2 squared, we have 2 squared is 4, so 1 minus 4 is negative 3. We now write these values doon sa ating row for x. 3/4, 1/2, then 0, 1, negative 1, and negative 3. So, para mahanap yung values ng ating third na row, i-multiply lang natin yung sa second row kay 2. So, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. 0 times 2 is 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. At para makuha natin yung values for the fourth row, i-multiply natin, dadagdagan natin ng tigdadalawa yung mga values na nasa pangatlong row. So, negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. And 4 plus 2 is 6. So, therefore, ang table of values natin para dito ay this one. So, we have negative 2, 0, 2, 4, and 6. Ang x ay 3, 4, 1/2, 0, negative 1, and negative 3. So, ito yung table of values para doon sa function na y is equal to 2 times log base 2 of 1 minus x plus 2. So, para ma-represent natin ito in terms of its graph, nagawa tayo ng Cartesian plane. So, si y ay from negative 2 to positive 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then negative 2. At yung kay x natin, we have 3/4 up to negative 3. So, nagkamali ako. Ito na lang yung negative 1, 2, and 3. And then, if x is 3 all over 4, y will be negative 2. So, dito yung 3 all over 4, y will be negative 2. If x is 1/2, y will be 0. So, 1/2 siya. Ito yun. If x is 0, y will be positive 2. And if x is negative 1, y will be positive 4. So, andito yung point na yun. If x is negative 3, y will be positive 6. So, andun yung kanyang point. After plotting, connect na natin yung mga dots using a smooth curve. So, don't worry kasi sa papel naman, it's somewhat easy to connect the dots. So, hindi na naman na ano. So, yan ho ang appearance ng ating graph for example or item C. So, tignan nga natin kung tama ba yung makukuha natin. So, this will be y is equal to 2 times log of 1 minus x plus 2. So, ito ho ang kinalabasan ng ating function. So, ito ho yung appearance ng kanyang graph. Kung titignan natin yung ating ni-sketch kanina, yan. So, may similarity sila. Okay? So, that is how we represent a given logarithmic function to its equivalent equation, table of values, and graph. Okay? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more math videos.